Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen? Okay, excellent. So, today we are going to take a look at a session of vocabulary in which we will be checking how good we are with words, right? Now, vocabulary is your knowledge of words. It could include the meaning of words, it could include synonyms, which are words which have the same meaning, or antonyms, words which have the opposite meaning, or even spellings of those words. And vocabulary is not something which is done by formula, that you just learn one formula and you will remember all the spellings. It is through regular reading, it is through regular practice that you generally build a solid vocabulary. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to build the vocabulary. Fortunately, you have a vocabulary book which gives you a lot of word lists. So every day, if you pick up a word list from the vocabulary book and you start learning them, then the most commonly asked words in entrance examinations are covered in that. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to check how your vocabulary is. We are going to check how your vocabulary is, which means I'll be putting up a word on the screen and I'll be putting up synonyms to it, right? I'll be putting up words which have similar meaning to it. And from the given options, you have to select which is the best possible meaning of the given word. Do you understand that? You can then understand which is the best possible word, which is the closest to the meaning of the given word. Right? So it's going to be a pretty simple exercise. By the end of this session, you will also realize how good or otherwise your vocabulary is and how much more work you need to start doing so that you are good at it. So without further ado, vocabulary, synonyms. And here's one thing. Whenever you are doing an exercise in the MCQ format, whenever you are doing from the book or from any other source, once you have completed attempting the questions, when you are checking your answers, you should not just take a look at the word and the answer. You should also try to look at the meanings of the other options which are given. Hello? Oh, ओके मुझे को होस्ट बना दीजिए ना, मैं कर देता हूँ. हाँ हाँ. So let's take a look at the words and their meanings, starting with the first one. If the word is corpulent, what is the meaning of the word corpulent? What is the meaning of the word corpulent? Is it lean? Is it gaunt? Is it emaciated? Or is it obese? Remember, we are doing meanings, that is synonyms of the words. So what is the meaning of the word corpulent? Okay, so lean means someone who is very thin. Gaunt and emaciated also mean somebody who is not eating much and somebody who is very thin mainly because of hunger. Obese means somebody who is too fat, very fat. The word corpulent also comes from the word corpse or body. So if somebody has a big body, somebody has a lot of body, then we use the word corpulent. So that is most similar to the word obese, right? So option D is the best possible answer for corpulent. I hope you got that. Did you get that? Did you get that? The meaning of the word? Okay. The next one. What is the best word which can be synonymous to brief? The best word which can be synonymous to brief. From the given options, limited, small, little, or short, which can be the best word synonymous to brief? So, give your answers in brief. When we say, do we say give your answers in limited, small, little, or give short answers? When we say give answers in brief, we call it short answers. So the best possible option here is obviously D, right? The best possible answer here is obviously D. Next one. What is embezzle? To embezzle. In newspapers, many a times we hear that he was embezzling funds. So what does it mean to embezzle? So embezzling funds is used in context of fraud, right? Balance, remunerate, and clear have nothing to do with it. Misappropriate. Any word which starts with mis generally has a negative meaning associated with it. Mistake, right? It is negative. Misdemeanor, that's negative. So mis is a negative. So misappropriate is the closest meaning for the given word embezzle, right? To embezzle means to misappropriate. So when you cheat somebody and take away their money without proper means, you cheat somebody of money. Or basically in a company, if you steal the money, or in a bank, you commit fraud, you steal the money. That is known as embezzlement or misappropriation. Okay. What is the meaning of the word vent? What is the meaning of the word vent with a V? Right. If I use it in a sentence, the bathroom vent was too small for the boy to escape from it. The vent in the bathroom was too small for the boy to escape from it. So obviously vent means an opening. Usually when we have a small, very small, it's not exactly a window, smaller than a window, but it is just there for the air to come and go or for light to come and go. Then we call that vent, right? So vent is an opening. Next one. What is the meaning of the word August? Well, we do know the meaning that it's one of the months, but in regular English, we can use the word August. I'm so honored to be in your august company. If I use that in the sentence, I'm very honored to be in your august company. When you're in a university and talking to the head of the department and other great professors, you feel as if you're in august company. So what does august mean? So obviously august company means dignified company, something which is very respectable, something which is great, right? So something which has a lot of dignity, something which is very great, we call that august. Canny. What is meant by canny? My dog is very canny. I can never lock him up anywhere. My dog is very canny. I can never lock him up anywhere. So what is the meaning of the word canny? So canny. Correct, Hriday. So right now for some of the words I will be giving you in the usage in a sentence, but then you will have to, in this exam, you may not be given a sentence in which the word is there. So you will have to know. But as you can understand, if I just give you the word, it may not be easy to remember. But when you hear a word in a sentence, then contextually you can make it out. So whenever you are learning vocabulary, whenever you are learning new words, always try to read that word in a sentence. See if you can identify how that word is used in a sentence. Because when contextually you see a word and you know its usage, it remains in your mind for a longer period of time. So here, canny obviously means clever. The word obstinate means somebody who is ziddi, somebody who does not agree to things. He is always firm on whatever he or she thinks is right. A person who thinks he or she is right, who does not listen to others. The exact word for that in Hindi is ziddi, adiyal. So obstinate, we call donkeys are obstinate. They never listen to anybody, right? Stout means short and fat. Canny, however, means clever. So guys, if you understand the meaning of all the words, excellent. But if you are not able to understand meaning of any one of the words, then do stop and ask me, right? Do make it a point to ask me the meaning of a word if you don't get it. Okay. Alert. A watchman should always remain alert. What does that mean? A watchman should always remain alert. What does that mean? Correct. In fact, I used it in a way which gives you the answer, right? What should a watchman be? He should always be watchful, right? The soldier who was on the fort was alert for any sign of the enemy. It is the duty of the soldier to be alert for any signs of the enemy. So, when you are on duty watching for the enemy, you have to be watchful. So, the closest synonym from the given options in this case will be watchful. Observant only means a person who sees things in minute detail, right? When you enter a room and you observe all the small details, that means you are observant. You pick up even the smallest of details. But being alert does not mean checking and remembering all small details. It means seeing what is happening in general. So observant is for a very particular thing. Alert is being watchful in general. So watchful is a much better option than observant. Okay, this is easy. Warrior. Arjun was a great warrior in the story of the Mahabharata, right? Warrior, from the given options, the closest option can only be soldier. A soldier is a warrior. A warrior is basically a brave fighter. But from all the given options, the closest one can only be a soldier. Distant. He is my distant relative. The men came from distant lands bearing gifts. The ship is still distant to us. So what do you call distant? So distant literally means something which is very far. Something which is far away is distant. I'm assuming that you also know the meaning of the other words, right? If not, you have to ask me. Else, I will move ahead with the next question. Adversity. Adversity. It is during times of adversity that the character of a man is truly revealed. It is during adversity that the character of a man is revealed. So, adversity, many people think it is failure or crisis. Crisis is a situation which has reached extremely bad condition, right? Which is now going to go bad. That is crisis. But that is not exactly adversity. From the given options, the closest option is actually misfortune, right? Good times, bad times, right? For bad times, adversity is simply misfortune. A crisis is a particular time where everything is about to go extremely bad. Adversity and misfortune are when you are having poor, bad time in general, right? A tsunami is a crisis, but lack of rain is adversity or misfortune. Tsunami happens suddenly. That's crisis. But adversity is simply a poor condition. It can be long term. So the best synonym for that should be misfortune. So adverse conditions only means poor conditions. bad conditions. Crisis is extremely bad but singular situation, right? A crisis is extremely bad situation. Adversity is simply bad conditions. So misfortune is of the same level. Crisis is an extreme form of adversity. So the closest synonym is not crisis, it's actually misfortune. Indict. Because of recent events in the US, we should have heard this word. What is meant by to indict? To indict somebody. So, indict is generally used in the profession of law, right? To condemn means to say that somebody is bad, somebody has done something wrong. To reprimand means to scold, and to allege means to just to say something without having much proof, right? But to indict somebody is actually to accuse somebody of something wrong, right? Indictment. The former president of the United States was indicted for various offenses. So when we say indict, we are accusing some. An indictment is a formal accusation of having done wrong, right? It's not a judgment. It's the first step towards a case. So first you accuse that this person has done something wrong. So that process of accusing somebody is called an indictment. To indict somebody is simply to accuse somebody. What is meant by stringent? What is meant by the word stringent? The rules of this school are very stringent. Students do not like them. The rules of this school are very stringent. Students do not like them. So stringent literally means rigorous, right? Something which is the opposite of loose or casual. Stringent is rigorous. A better word for it is also strict. Something which is very strict is what we call as stringent. Yes, so stringent means strict, and rigorous also means strict. Something which is to be rigorously followed or strictly followed. So there is no other option which is closer. Soham? Right? Stringent and rigorous, they mean strict. Lament. What is shrill? Okay, the meaning of the word shrill. Something which is high pitched in noise. For example, if I talk like that, this is a shrill voice. Right? So shrill voice. Ah! That is a high pitched voice. That is called a shrill voice. Something which is high in pitch and usually bad to hear. Right? Okay. Chal. What is meant by to lament? What is meant by to lament? The students are lamenting about the examinations. The students are lamenting about the examinations. The moment I say student and exam, patt karke you know the meaning. So to console, I go from the bottom. To console somebody is if somebody is sad and you try to say, oh, nahi, theek hai. So to console somebody is try to make somebody who's sad to feel better. To condone is to pardon. To condone. Somebody has done something wrong and you say, okay, it's fine. You condone. Comment, obviously we know that is. But to lament means to complain. To lament means to complain. Hesitated. Hesitated. Use it in a sentence. And then check. So, when you hesitate, you are not stopping or slowing down, but you are taking a temporary break before continuing, right? You stop for a moment before you continue. So it is not stopping or slowing or even postponing. To hesitate means only to pause, right? You pause means you are going to start again. So hesitate means you will continue, but after a short stoppage. So hesitate means to pause. Rescue. What is the meaning of the word rescue? When I was confronted by bullies, my elder sister came to my rescue. The Winter Soldier came to the rescue of Captain America. In Avengers, Thor came to the rescue of the Avengers. So to rescue somebody means to help somebody. When you go to rescue someone, you are trying to help that person. So to rescue means to help. Attempt. This is easy. Attempt. Correct. You should always attempt to give your best in the exam. You should always attempt to give your best in the exam. So to attempt means to try. To attempt means to try. Foray. Very interesting word. Foray. So, when the army entered the city, they were on a foray. Intuition means sixth sense. A ranger is a person who goes to explore, and a contest is a competition. But a maraud is to enter and loot something. So a maraud is to enter and try to loot something, which is very similar to foray. So foray is a maraud. Yes, sort of sudden invasion, but with a negative sense to it. Not simply invading, but also trying to do something bad. So when the enemy's army entered the village with the intent to foray or maraud. Correct. Invasion or attack. Similar. Reckless. Teenagers are often reckless. Teenagers are often reckless. Wreck. There is no such word as wreck per se, but reckless. It literally means someone who is not careful. So it's not about being courageous, bold, or daring, but rash, without any care. So reckless literally means without any care. Consequences. This is simple. Consequences. If you are not careful, you will suffer from the consequences. If you are not careful, you will suffer from the consequences. So consequences literally means results, right? What is the consequence of this? What is the result of this? What happens as a result of this? That's a consequence. Something which happens afterwards. Inebriated. Does anybody know what this means? Inebriated. If I use it in a sentence, you might get it. But let's see, before using it in a sentence, does anybody actually know what inebriated means? Okay, Varnika knows it. Nice. No, Man, that's not correct. Hriday, Sakshi, no. No. So, you should never drive a car when you are inebriated. As simple as that. You should never drive a car when you are inebriated. So being inebriated literally means being drunken. नशे की हालत में हो, दारू पिया हुआ है, नशे की हालत में हो. When you are drunken, it's said that you are in an inebriated state. Do you know what is the word for a person who never consumes alcohol? What do you call a person who does not consume alcohol? Do you know that? A drunk or inebriated person is one who drinks alcohol. So इसका opposite क्या है? A person who never drinks alcohol. योगी जी नहीं. A person who never drinks alcohol is called a teetotaler. T-E-E-T-O teetotaler. Teetotaler. So a teetotaler is a person who never consumes alcohol. Inebriated is a person who is drunk. So a person who never drinks is called a teetotaler. Okay. What is sterile? Sterile. So something which is sterile is something which cannot ever grow something, right? So it literally means barren. In Hindi we use the word banj. Something which is the opposite of fertile. Fertile is something in which things can grow, right? So the opposite of that is barren, where nothing can grow. So the word sterile means barren. A barren land, yes. So sterile. Arid means extremely dry. A desert is arid. Arid means extremely dry. So dry is simple. Extreme form of dryness is called aridity. So when we say desert, deserts are arid by nature, right? So arid means very dry. So soham, yes, free from bacteria or virus. No, sterile literally means an environment in which nothing can grow. So we should make it sterile, which means even bacteria or virus should not be able to grow there, right? So it's not just free from bacteria or virus, it does mean something where nothing including bacteria or virus can grow. So making something sterile means making something such that nothing can grow there. But yes, that's why hospitals should have a sterile environment. So when we say sterile environment, it means no organisms should be able to grow there. Okay. Abject. Abject. It is not object, it is abject. And usually this word is always used as an adjective for poverty. Abject poverty. Yes, Soham, very good. Abject poverty. So abject conditions means miserable conditions. Usually we use the words abject poverty, extremely bad condition of poverty. So the word abject itself means miserable. What is meant by the word timid? Rabbits are timid creatures. Timid does not mean fast. Although rabbits are fast. No, most animals are timid creatures. So the word timid usually means shy. Something which is timid is something which is the opposite of bold. Timid is the opposite of bold, right? So something which is shy is called a timid creature. Something which is easily scared, something which is easily frightened, that is known as a timid creature. Extricate. To extricate. The army had to go in to extricate the prisoners. The army had to go in to extricate the prisoners. So to extricate actually means to free, right? Extricate means to remove from something or to free from something. Although it is very tempting to mark pull as the answer, but extricate is to pull out. If it was given pull out, then pull out can be similar to extricate, but only pull is not extrication. To extricate means to pull out, not just pull. So pull is not my answer. My answer should be free. Repeal. Oh, this is simple. Bad laws must be repealed. Joe Biden repealed a lot of decisions made by Donald Trump. So to repeal something is to cancel something. To repeal something simply means to cancel something. Salacity. Salacity. Nowadays, many web series are full of salacity. Nowadays, many web series are full of salacity. Elder people don't like them. Old people don't like them. So salacity, salacious behavior. When you are behaving indecently, it is called salacious behavior. So salacity literally means indecency. Right? Salacity is indecency. To admonish. What is it meant? To admonish. When the child was misbehaving, it was admonished by the mother. When the child was when the class is misbehaving, they are admonished by the teacher. No, now you have to understand. To punish can mean something physical, but admonish is usually dantana, it's verbal. And the best synonym from the options is reprimand. The word reprimand also means dantana, right? When you verbally say somebody is wrong, that is to reprimand and that is to admonish. To punish is to physically, किसी को मुर्गा बनाना, to make somebody stand in a corner, those are punishments. But when you're actually only saying something to a person, you're admonishing him verbally. So admonish and reprimand, they are the same thing, right? It's not punish, it's reprimand. If the word reprimand was not there, then punishment would be close. But the best synonym in this case is definitely reprimand. Chalo. Diligent. Diligent. Due diligence is a very commonly used word in both management and law. You must always perform due diligence. You must be always diligent as a student. You must always be diligent as a student, right? So for students, whether you are progressive, brilliant or inventive is secondary. The first quality required is always being hardworking. So diligent simply means hardworking. Somebody who is hardworking. Arushi, it's not progressive. A student may or may not be progressive, but we always want students to be hardworking. Right? So the word diligent actually simply means to work hard. To be diligent means to do all the work. Oh, this your generation should definitely know. What does it mean to browse? This one is simple. I was just browsing through the catalog. I was just browsing on the internet. Right? So definitely it means to examine, to check out things. To browse simply means to check out things. What is infrequent? From the given word, all the words are easy, but as a synonym, which one works the best? Infrequent. It is never and usual are wrong. And sometimes does not tell me whether it is more or less, but infrequent is actually used when it happens very little. So the best option here is definitely rare. Definitely the best word here is rare. Do you get it? It is not sometimes, because sometimes it does not tell me whether it is more or less, right? Infrequent is used when it is done very little number of times. So rather than saying sometimes, saying that it is rare gives me the sense that it is not done enough number of times. So a better synonym for infrequent is rare. What is restraint? The government has put a lot of restraints on restaurants these days due to the pandemic. Companies are working under a lot of restraint due to the current situation. So obviously restraint means restriction, right? Something which you are not allowed to do. So when you are under restraint, it means you do not have full freedom. There's a lot of restriction which is placed over you. Now this is not defy. हिंड्रेंस का मतलब इज रुकावट, राइट? रस्ते में कोई चीज रुकावट होती है, दैट इज अ हिंड्रेंस. समथिंग विच इज एन ऑब्स्टकल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लाउड म्यूजिक कैन बी अ हिंड्रेंस टू स्टडीज. It does not allow you to study. Something which does not allow you to do something, that is called a hindrance. So loud music or noise from television can act as a hindrance during your studies. Did you get that now? So hindrance literally means rukavat. Okay. Now this word is not defy, it's deify. There's an I in between. So what does it mean to deify? So the word deify comes from a root dei, D-E-I, or deo or theo, which literally means God. A deity or deity, D-E-I-T-Y, deity is a God. So if a deity is a God and you're deifying it, that means you consider something as God. What do you do with gods? Right? You always worship gods. So to deify comes from the word deity. Deity comes from dei or deo or theo, which means God. So to deify something means literally to worship something. Right? To deify something means to worship something. What is a harbinger? Harbinger. Yes, Varnika, very good. Now, if you have seen the Fantastic Four movies, especially the second one, the Silver Surfer was a harbinger to a larger trouble. The Silver Surfer acted as a harbinger to a larger villain. So, a harbinger is actually a person who comes before, or a thing which comes before and gives you information about something larger which is going to happen. Like a trailer, right? Something which acts like a trailer of something worse which is going to happen. So a harbinger is a forerunner, something which comes before to as a warning. Adversary means enemy. A steward is a person who supervises. And of course, we know what a pilot is. Pilot is something which leads, something which, of course, a driver of a plane. But a pilot episode means the first episode. Pilot is something which guides from the beginning, right? A harbinger or a forerunner is an indicator of more trouble which is about to come afterwards. Candid. Oh, you guys know what candid is. Candid photography, right? आजकल तो लोग candid photography के लिए भी pose मारते हैं, which is like illogical. Because the word candid means without any preparation. So that means frank, right? Without anything. Open. Candid literally means open, right? You don't reserve anything. When you're very open about things, then you are frank about something. You're not hiding something. So please give me your candid opinion. Candid means open and genuine opinion, nothing hidden. So give me your candid opinion. Give me your frank opinion. So the word we are looking for as a synonym for candid is the word frank. Right? Malay? Shania? Candid literally means frank, open, something which is not reserved. Lynch. A very bad word. To lynch. Yes. In the past century, many colored people were lynched by white supremacists. So to lynch literally means to kill somebody, especially by hanging. It does not mean just to hang, it actually means to kill. Lynch mob, right? A mob which actually hounds a person and kills him. Hanging may be one of the methods. They can also lynch a person to death by stones or anything. But lynching literally means a mob killing somebody. To lynch somebody is usually when a mob kills somebody. Bad thing. Abundant. This is easy. Ripe means something which is ready, opposite of raw. And others we know. But abundant, there was abundant rain this year which made the farmers happy. So abundant literally means plenty, lots of. Abundant literally means plenty or lots of. Destitution. Destitution. After he went bankrupt, the businessman's family was forced to live in destitution. After he was bankrupt, the businessman's family was forced to live in destitution. So, yes, it literally means poverty. Destitution literally means poverty. Wretched. Wretched. You are wretched if you live in destitution. You are wretched if you live in destitution. We can easily link the two words. Wretched people live in destitution. Destitution means poverty. So wretched literally means poor. Wretched literally means poor. To intimidate. What does strained mean? Strained means some जो बहुत खींचा हुआ है. If a rope, you pull a rope too hard where it is about to break, that means strained. Strained का दूसरा भी मतलब है. चाय की leaf, tea leaves are strained. You pass something through a sieve to separate the solids from the liquids. That also means to strain. But strained literally means something which is खिंचा to the point where it may break. Okay. To intimidate. To intimidate. The Gundas intimidated me. The Gundas tried to intimidate me. So to intimidate somebody literally means to frighten somebody, not harass, to frighten. When you're trying to put fear into somebody, then you're trying to intimidate, right? Fear is an important part of intimidation. When you're trying to put fear into somebody, then you are trying to intimidate that person. So, to intimidate means to frighten somebody, not harass. Cantankerous. Cantankerous. This is that ad. कौन सा? Snickers का ad if you देखा हो. When people are hungry, they become cantankerous. Then after eating a Snickers, everything goes back to normal. So cantankerous is quarrelsome. When you unnecessarily just try to keep picking fights with people, right? When you just want to keep picking fights with people, you are described as being a cantankerous person. Jagadalu, quarrelsome. Right? When you are unnecessarily trying to pick up a fight with people, you are called a quarrelsome person. You are described as a cantankerous person. To rant. This is a very popular word these days, especially on social media. People put up their rant on social media. Don't rant. It is very, very bad. He was ranting on and on about his own greatness. So to rant is to noisily keep speaking about something, generally in a complaint type of manner. So to preach noisily means to rant. To see, rant is to preach noisily. If you say rave, to rave about something, that is to praise too much. Inordinately means lots. So when you're praising something, you're raving about it. But when you're preaching noisily or you're complaining about saying something, then you're ranting about it. So praising somebody too much is raving, but just noisily speak about something or complain about something is ranting, right? To vent, okay, when you're trying to apni bhadas nikalna, if used as a verb, vent means to allow something to go out. The toxic fumes were vented from the room, so the toxic smoke was allowed to go out of the room. I tried to vent my anger by hitting the wall, so I tried to remove my anger by hitting the wall. So to vent something means to try to remove something, right? Okay. Taciturnity. He does not show many emotions. He is very taciturn. This man does not show a lot of emotions. He is very taciturn. So a person who's not very open, a person who keeps himself to himself or herself for that matter, right? Such a person who shows a lot of reserve, which is the opposite of being emotional. A person who does not show too much emotions, we say बहुत reserved है. When a person does not openly show emotions, we say such a person is a reserved person. A fancy word for that is taciturn. So taciturnity means reserve, not showing too much of emotions. It's not hesitation. See, hesitation means pausing, not saying something. When you want to say something, but you are not sure about it, you hesitate. Right? You take a pause before you actually say it. A taciturn person will not say anything at all. He does not say anything at all. A person who is hesitant will stop for a moment but will say it. He only pauses for a moment. Whereas a taciturn person does not say anything. He's very reserved. He does not open up at all. So it's not hesitation. Taciturnity is not hesitation. Taciturnity is reserve. You get that? Shubham? Do you get that? Hesitation is temporary. Taciturnity is long term. Right. Massacre. We definitely know this. Massacre. The word massacre itself contains the word mass. Right? So, murder is killing somebody illegally. To stab is to point up, to put a pointy thing into somebody. To assassinate is to kill something usually for political reasons. Slaughter is to kill cruelly and a large number of people, which is exactly what massacre also means. Mass mein jo killing hota hai, that's a massacre, right? So, when a large number of people are killed or when a lot of cruelty is used in killing, that's called a massacre, and that is a slaughter. When the army of 300 had to face 10,000 opponents, it was not just a killing, it was a massacre, it was a slaughter. Yeah, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, right? So Jallianwala Bagh massacre, it was simply slaughter. It could be people, it could be animals, right? Slaughter means to kill mercilessly. So we say slaughterhouse for pigs and other animals, but slaughterhouse is also a slang term. To slaughter means to kill without mercy in large numbers. He slaughtered the enemies like animals. So to slaughter means to kill without mercy, and that is to massacre something. Right? Okay. Do you know what is the technical name for a slaughterhouse? A place where they usually kill animals, generally for consumption as food. You know what is the technical name for that place? Slaughterhouse is what we call it. But you know technically what a place where animals are killed for food consumption is known as? Anybody? A place where they kill animals in large numbers, especially to be used as food. So such a place is called an abattoir. Abattoir. It's called an abattoir. It's written as abattoir, but it's pronounced abattoir. So an abattoir is a place where animals are usually killed for consumption purposes. Okay. What is Ken? And don't answer Barbie doll के साथ जो आता है. No. Ken. The meaning of the word. Do you ken? The meaning of this word. Do you ken? So ken literally means to know or have knowledge of. Right? So do you ken means do you know? Do you have knowledge of this thing? So ken literally means knowledge. Right? Ken literally means knowledge. Okay. Wary. What is wary? To be wary about something. दूध की जली बिल्ली छाछ भी फूंक फूंक के पीती है. Once it burns its mouth in hot milk, the cat is wary about drinking even buttermilk. So what does wary mean? No. So wary does not mean sad. Wary means once you have experienced something bad, the next time you will be careful, you will be alert about it, right? So to be wary about something means to be vigilant about something, to be careful about something, to be alert about something. Once you already have faced something bad, the next time you will be wary about it, means you will be vigilant, you will keep an eye out for it, you will be careful, you will be alert. That's wary. Do you get what wary means? Do you get what wary means? Okay. Rabble. Be careful. This class is like a rabble. Be careful. No, rubbish is rubble. Manushi, you're thinking about rubble. Rubble is similar to rubbish. Rabble is different. Be careful about these students. They are rabble. Students are not noise, roar, or rubbish, but students can become a mob. A group of people generally full of chaos and without control. An uncontrolled crowd is a mob. So a rabble. We use the term rabble rouser to a person who bhadkaus a group of people. Right? Some people, they incite mobs to do bad things. Such people are called rabble rousers. People who can incite mobs to do bad things, they are called rabble rousers. So a rabble means mob. A group of people usually out of control. Right. Mayhem. Mayhem. So mayhem, afra tafri. When the rocket landed in the city, it caused a lot of mayhem. When the enemies invaded the city, they caused a lot of mayhem. So mayhem means havoc. Lot of confusion, lot of running here and there. Right? When there is total chaos, that is mayhem or havoc. To ponder. It's a verb, to ponder. Jubilation. Jubilation means extreme happiness. There was a great jubilation in the country when we won the World Cup. All the fans had jubilation when they were. Jubilee is celebration. So jubilation is when you are very happy and you are celebrating. That's a jubilation. Okay. To ponder. You must always ponder deeply over things which are important. The philosopher pondered over the meaning of life. So to ponder means to think. To ponder over something literally means to think. Who is a connoisseur? Who is a connoisseur? So, a connoisseur is basically a person who enjoys something, especially art. A connoisseur is a person who enjoys something, especially art. So, a connoisseur is a lover of art. Delinquent is a person, generally young one, who does not obey the law or who has not done something which is required to be done. A delinquent is a person who is generally young and has not followed rules or has not yet made a payment. Connoisseur is a person who enjoys something, especially art. So, a connoisseur is a lover of art. To shiver, a physical thing. To shiver means what? Right? He was shivering in the cold. Right? Kampna. Literally, it means kampna in Hindi. So, when you are trembling, right? That is shivering. So, when you are trembling, that is shivering. Prestige. I have a lot of prestige in society. I enjoy a lot of prestige in society. You will, if you do good things, you will earn a lot of prestige. So, prestige is something which you enjoy, which you earn, and that is name, right? Name not as in my name is Satya, but name as in I have a good name in the society. So, respect, sort of. So, prestige literally means name or respect. Fame, yes. Soham, Hriday, both of you are right. Fame, yes. Prestige and fame are very close to each other. That's correct. Prestige and fame very close to each other. So, yes, if fame was given, that could very well be used as a synonym. Right. Stringent. We have seen this one before, I guess. Stringent. We have seen the stringent. Yes. It literally means strict. Stringent literally means strict. Insomnia. One of my favorite words. Insomnia. What is insomnia? So, som literally means sleep. Right? Som literally means sleep. And anything ending in ia is a condition like malaria, diphtheria. So, any ia is a condition. Somnia is sleep. So, in negative. So, when you cannot sleep at night, you are suffering from insomnia. So, insomnia is the condition of sleeplessness. Insomnia is the condition of sleeplessness. Laud. What does it mean to laud something? Please laud this boy. He has secured first rank in the school. Right? To laud means to praise somebody. From laud also comes applaud. Applaud means when you clap your hands to praise somebody. So laud simply means to praise somebody. To say good about somebody. That is to laud somebody. To say good about somebody is to laud somebody. Repercussions. Please don't fight with me, else you will have to suffer from the repercussions. Yeah, man, from laudable comes, from laud comes laudable. Laud means praise. So laudable is something which can be lauded, something which can be praised. So the word laudable does come from the word laud. The root word is laud. The previous question. Okay. Current one. Repercussions. Right? It's the reaction to something. Consequences. Effect of something. Repercussion is a consequence or an effect of an action. Right? Action has a reaction. So repercussions are consequences or reaction to something. Impromptu. The only way we can make a trip to Goa is if we make it an impromptu trip. Planned trips to Goa never materialize. Only impromptu ones do. Offhand means something which is unplanned. Offhand means something which is unplanned. Impromptu trips to Goa are the only ones which work out. So impromptu means something which is decided without much planning, something which is decided just like that. Offhand, something which is not planned before, something which happens just like that. So impromptu literally means offhand, without much planning or without any planning. Frugality, we have heard the word frugal. The Rajasthani people are known to be frugal. You learn to live with frugality when you don't have a lot of money. So frugality means you are very careful about how you spend things, right? Frugality is when you learn how to save things, how not to waste. That means you learn to live in economy. Economy means not being too spendful. Being very careful with your money is maintaining economy, right? Business class and economy class. महंगे वाले को business बोलते हैं. जो इसमें पैसा बचता है, that is economy. So frugal, where you are not spending too much, that is economy. Extremity, something which is extreme, right? At the extremity, at the very extreme end. Extremities is also used for the extreme parts of your body, that is your hands and legs, your fingers and toes, because they are at the very end of your body. Even they are known as your extremities. Extremity, something which is at the very end or extreme, right? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is when you are very eager to do something. बोलते नहीं enthu cutlet. When a person is very eager, हाँ नहीं मैं भी करूँगा, मैं भी करूँगा. He's very enthusiastic. He wants to do it. He's very enthusiastic about it. It's not curious. Hriday, being enthusiastic is not. Being curious is wanting to know about something. You don't know, but you want to know. Then you are curious. Enthusiastic is you just want to participate in it. So they are different. Do you understand the difference between enthusiasm and curiosity? Curiosity is when you want to learn. Enthusiastic is, bus, you are very happy about it. Like enthusiastic cricket fan, as Soham says. Very good. Okay, correspondence. Nowadays, we don't have physical correspondence. We use emails. Nowadays, nobody uses physical correspondence. We use email. Email has substituted physical correspondence. Emails have substituted physical correspondence. So that's why the word correspondence is not well known to the current generation. You ask old people, right, my age or even older, and immediately we know the word correspondence usually refers to letters, chithi. But these days nobody corresponds through letters, right? We use email for correspondence. But the word correspondence literally means letters. Ascend, ascending order, descending order. Ascend is to go up. Leap is to uchalna. Grow is to actually become big. Deviate is raste se bhatakna, to go away from the path. Mount is to climb up. So ascend literally means to climb up, grow. To mount, right? Ascend means to mount. To grow means to become larger in size or to become larger in age. Ascend means to climb up. So the best synonym is mount, not grow. To ascend means to you ascend a mountain, right? You climb a mountain. You literally mount it. So to mount means to climb, not grow. So ascend is actually mount. Furor. When the Prime Minister announced lockdown in the country, there was a great furor amongst the citizens. Now this you will be misled. Furor can be taken in two ways, right? Or when India won the match, there was great furor in the country. So furor does not necessarily mean only bad. Furor literally means when people burst out in response. So the best synonym here is excitement. Furor can also mean anger, but when a lot of people show it publicly, that's a furor. So either you're angry and you show it publicly, or you're happy and you show it publicly. So in this case, excitement. Flux is a situation where it is neither here nor there. To be in flux means to be in between, neither here nor there, a confused state. An anteroom is sort of waiting room, right? Anteroom is a place where you wait before you enter the main room. Before entering the main area, waiting area, that's an anteroom. Correct, Soham? Anteroom literally means waiting room. Ante means before. So before going to the main part where you wait, that's the anteroom. Here, furor literally means excitement. Okay. What is a synopsis? What is a synopsis? I don't have time to read this novel. Can you please give me a synopsis? I don't have time to read this novel. Can you give me a synopsis? So obviously synopsis is summary, right? In short, when you try to explain something, you are giving a summary of the entire thing. You are giving a synopsis. To garnish. The chef garnished the pizza with some olives. The cake was garnished with chocolate. So, garner means to collect. The politician tried to garner as many votes as he could. So, garner literally means to collect, but garnish means to decorate or adorn. To adorn means to decorate, and garnish means the same thing. To try to make something look beautiful. So, garnish means to adorn, to decorate. Mendacious. Mendacious. Never be mendacious. People hate it. Never be mendacious. You will be caught. So, if you say you will be caught and you should not be it, then mendacious is something negative and that is false. So, mendacious is something which is not truthful. Mendacity, something which is not truthful, is mendacious. What is garrulity? She irritates everybody with her garrulity. The girl irritates everybody with her garrulity. See, credulity means truthfulness. Senility is when you are not mentally stable, right? Generally because of old age, satya jana, to be senile. And speciousness is something which is not necessarily correct. Loquaciousness is when a person is too talkative. And that is exactly what even garrulous means. So garrulity or loquaciousness means being very talkative. The quality of being very talkative, of talking too much, of speaking too much, that is garrulity or loquaciousness. Morose. When India lost the match, the countrymen all had a morose expression on their face. When Game of Thrones ended, all its fans had a morose expression on their face. So, annoyed means angry at something. Moody is, of course, moody. We know what that means. And displeased is not happy with something. But morose, when you lose a match or when your favorite season ends, you are sad. And that is gloomy. So, morose literally means sad, depressed, which is gloomy. To be morose means to be sad or depressed. So the best synonym here will be gloomy. Voracious. Bhim was a voracious eater. I am a voracious reader of books. Teenagers are usually voracious eaters. So voracious, when you do something a lot, you eat a lot of food, you read a lot of books, then you are a voracious person. Someone who is gluttonous, somebody who consumes too much. When you consume too much, you are voracious. It could be consumption of knowledge, consumption of food, anything. But something you take in very large quantities, that means you are gluttonous. And gluttonous is the closest synonym for voracious. To gratify. Politicians try to gratify the voters before the elections. Politicians try to gratify voters by giving them freebies just before. Okay, venturous, as in adventurous. A person who wants to explore new things. A person who's ready to go out to find out new things. Venturous, as in adventurous. Gratify. The mother tried to gratify the child by giving him some cake. So you try to indulge somebody, right? किसी को मक्खन मार के अपनी तरफ लाने की कोशिश करते हो. When you try to make somebody happy so that they are in your favor, you are trying to gratify that person, right? That means you are trying to indulge a person. To pacify is to shant karna ke. When somebody is angry, you try to pacify him. You try to make him calm. But to gratify means you try to make somebody happy. So you are indulging somebody. Precarious. I feel very bad when I see somebody standing precariously on a wall. I feel very frightened when I see somebody standing precariously on a wall. So, if you are on the top of a 10-storied building and you climb on the terrace wall, then you are in a precarious condition. Precarious means dangerous condition. Danger means peril. So, perilous. Perilous. The word peril is literally danger. Peril means danger. So perilous means dangerous. So a precarious condition is a dangerous condition. Similarly, a perilous condition is a dangerous condition. Perilous comes from the word peril. Brittle is something which can be broken easily. Like glass is brittle, something which shatters easily. We know what cautious and critical is, but precarious is in a dangerous position, that is perilous. Infamy. Infamy. Don't do bad things. You will bring infamy on your family name. Don't do bad things. You will bring infamy to your family name. So famous ka opposite infamy, badnami, right? Dishonor. Infamy is literally the opposite of fame. Fame is honor. So infamy is dishonor. It is the opposite of glory, integrity, or reputation. Scintillating. The crowd was excited at the scintillating performance of the batsman. But to scintillate somebody, the actress was scintillating. So smoldering means which is slightly burning, right? Like coals are smoldering. Smoldering means which is slightly smoking and burning. Scintillating is something which is shining or glittering. Scintillating, something which excites you with its shine or brightness. So scintillating, lights के साथ associated है. So scintillating is glittering. Scintillating means glittering. Tepid. Please take this tea away. It has become tepid. I don't like tepid tea. The water in the river is tepid. You can easily jump into it. So tepid is something which is warm. Yes. So tepid literally means warm. right? Tepid means warm, not cold. Tepid, in fact, is the opposite of cool. It's warm. Something which is not hot, something which is just warm, which the temperature has gone down. So if it is warm, not hot, it's called tepid. So tepid is actually warm. Right, Soham? This we have seen. Voracious, another meaning, of course. Another meaning of voracious, voracious reader, voracious eater. Right? Gluttony, if you remember, gluttonous का देखा था हमने. So voracious, someone who has a big appetite, somebody who eats too much, or somebody who reads too much. That is voracious. So voracious means greedy, doing too much. I eat too much. I'm a voracious eater. So I'm a greedy eater. Combat. Oh, ये तो आता है. The soldiers were engaged in combat. Hand-to-hand combat. So a combat is literally a fight. A feud is generally a fight between families, right? In olden times, when between families or between tribes there used to be a quarrel, right? That was called a feud. It is often a long-running quarrel, right? It's not just 1 or 2 days, but for generations there is enmity between two families or two tribes. That is called a feud. Something which is going on, a fight which is going on for a long period of time. But a combat is simply a fight. What is a refectory? During lunchtime, you will see most people in the refectory. What is a refectory? So a refectory, now we don't use this word, but usually a place where you eat, right? So even a school may have a refectory, a church may have a refectory. So it is basically a place where you eat. So a dining room, not a restaurant, a dining room, a place where you eat. So a church may have a refectory, a place to eat. A school can have a refectory, a place where everybody eats. So it's simply a dining room. Uncouth. Be a gentleman. Don't show uncouth behavior. Be a gentleman. Don't show uncouth behavior. Slovenly is dirty. Slovenly is lazy or dirty, right? Ungraceful is something which does not have grace or beautiful movements. But uncouth is a person who is not sophisticated. Closest word would be rough. Uncouth is a person who is not polished or sophisticated. A person who is rough. So uncouth behavior is rough behavior. Do you understand? Graceful is related only to movements, but being uncouth, it has to do with manners. So if you have rough manners, you are an uncouth person. Commensurate. It is only fair that a worker should be paid commensurate to his labor. It is only fair that a worker should be paid commensurate to his labor. So, commensurate, you should be paid in proportion to your labor, proportionate to your labor. Whatever work you have done, according to, if you have done 1 day's work, you get 1 day's salary. You do 5 days work, you get 5 days salary. So it should always be in proportion. So commensurate literally means proportionate. Appropriate means proper. Commensurate literally means in proportion. Right? Mathematically we say. So commensurate means proportionate. Jitna kaam utna daam. Whatever you have done, accordingly you should get. Appropriate just means proper. Commensurate's better synonym is proportionate. In proportion. Do you get that, Shubham? Right. Yes, Soham. To commence means to start. You're correct. To commence means to start. But commensurate, it's a different word. right? Commensurate is not related to commence. To commence, it correctly means to start. Germane, not German, germane. Learning vocabulary is germane to entrance exams. Learning vocabulary is germane to entrance exams. So something which is germane is something that is relevant, right? It is relevant that you learn vocabulary. So it is germane, something which is relevant. Okay, now I am going to give you words already used in a sentence, right? The word has been bolded and underlined. All you have to do is identify the meaning. So even I don't have to come up with a sentence. Literally, I'm giving you a word in a sentence. What does it mean? The great artist life was full of vicissitudes. Even pronouncing that is difficult. Okay. The great artist life was full of vicissitudes. So, sorrows and misfortunes, both of them mean the same thing. Right? And we cannot have two answers. So, logically also we can think sorrows and misfortunes, they mean the same, more or less. So, if I can use one, I can use the another. And obviously that is not possible. So, those cannot be my answer. So, vicissitudes actually means just changes. Right? Ups and downs, changes. Vicissitudes literally means ups and downs, right? Any change which happens. It could be good, it could be bad. She has an insatiable love for music. My love for books is insatiable. So, satiate, to satiate means to satisfy. To satiate or satiate means to satisfy. So insatiable is unsatisfiable, that which cannot be satisfied. Irreconcilable, to reconcile. If you have fought with somebody and then you are trying to make friends, they are reconciling, you are accepting. Irreconcilable is something which cannot be accepted, right? India and Pakistan have irreconcilable differences. That means we can never ever come together. Irreconcilable is something which cannot be brought together, something which cannot be solved. But here, insatiable means unsatisfiable. The visitor had a bohemian look. And just a couple of years back, a very famous movie came out. If you have heard Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you heard of the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? Then Bohemian Rhapsody was based on whom? On which famous performer was Bohemian Rhapsody is actually the name of a song performed by a band. So the lead singer of the band was the main character, which was, yes, Manushi. So the band was Queen, and the lead singer on whose life the movie Bohemian Rhapsody is based is Freddie Mercury. A couple of years back, the movie Bohemian Rhapsody won a lot of awards. So what does the word bohemian look? Bohemian simply means something which does not follow regular rules. Something that is unconventional. To be bohemian literally means to not follow rules. So guys, if you have some time after class, you can go on YouTube and you can listen to the song Bohemian Rhapsody by the band Queen. It is one of the most, unconventional song. It does not follow regular rules. It's one of the most heard songs in the world. It's one of the most famous songs in the world. And you'll understand why it is called Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian means unconventional. You will never have heard a song like this in the world. Right? If you listen to the song, you'll understand why it is very unconventional. Manushi, yes, it does not follow any rules. Right? That song does not follow any rules, and yet it is beautiful. So just go on YouTube and listen to the song Bohemian Rhapsody after class. It's a brilliant song. Anyway, the bullet wound proved to be fatal and the soldier died. So obviously, what does fatal mean? The meaning is given. If something is fatal, means it leads to death. So obviously, deadly. Something which causes death. Fatal literally means deadly, something which causes death. The attitude of Western countries towards third world countries is rather callous, to say the least. Never have a callous attitudes towards poor people. To have a callous attitude is bad. So callous, if you develop calluses on your feet, you will not be able to feel anything. Right? Calluses are literally a hard layer of skin. And if you have calluses on your feet cannot feel anything. So from that comes the word callous, which is unfeeling, without feeling anything. Right? The word callous actually means a thick skin. Calluses on the feet means thick skin, because of which your skin loses all feeling. It cannot feel anything. So from that we also get the word callous, which means unfeeling. Do you get it? Unkind. No. Callous literally means not feeling anything. You may be feeling some emotion, right? But if you're callous, you don't care at all. You have no feeling at all. Neither good feelings nor bad feelings. Unkind means cruelty. So if you're feeling bad things, you can be unkind and feel bad emotions. But callous literally means no emotions at all. You don't care at all. Achha bura kuch bhi nahi. That is callous. Right? Being unkind at least means you are taking notice, which is still okay. But being callous means you don't care. Achha bura, you don't have any feeling at all, which is worse than actually being bad. So that's why callous means unfeeling. And I told you the origin of the word. Calluses on the skin. It literally means jadi chamdi. You don't feel anything. From that word callous, that is thick skin which does not have any sensation, we get the word callous or unfeeling. Okay. In spite of their efforts, the team of scientists could not make much headway to solve the problem. Headway is what? Correct. Headway is progress. Headway literally means progress, not able to go ahead. So headway means progress. Not make headway is not make any progress. On scrutiny, the police officer found that the documents provided by the landlord were totally fabricated. Jali dastawej. To fabricate something is to make something generally in a negative sense. So here forged. When you make false documents, you forge them, you fabricate them. Fabricate means literally to copy something and create something. So fabrication, when used in the context of police and documents, it means forged, nakli. Lack of occupation is not necessarily revealed by manifest idleness. Divinity was manifested in the child. A child's face, divinity is manifested in the face of a child. Right? So, manifest something. To manifest something means what? So, to manifest means to show itself. Right? So, manifest means something which is easily perceived. Manifest means something that is easily perceived. Okay. The accident occurred due to his lapse. Lapse of judgment. Lapse of judgment. When you don't do something correctly, it's called a lapse of judgment. You are supposed to do it, you do it incorrectly, right? So a lapse is an error. A lapse is an error. Now, after the dismal performance of the team in the series concluded yesterday, the captain offered his resignation to the president of the club. This should be easy. Right? What do you mean by dismal as used in this particular sentence? Dismal performance. If after a dismal performance the captain resigns, then what sort of performance is it? Short and minimum makes no sense. And performances are not sorrowful, but usually poor. If you perform poorly, that is a reason where you feel bad and want to resign. So dismal performance is poor performance. The pioneers left a blazing trail of courage, manliness, and chivalry. Chivalry is basically when you show respect to the opposite gender, right? Male chivalry, it's known as. Pioneers. So, pioneers technically means the first people to do something, usually settle in a place, right? Geographically, somebody is the first to go somewhere and start civilization or start living there. That person is called a pioneer, the first person to do something. So here the closest would be settlers, the first people to come to a place and establish human habitat. That is settlers. So pioneer. Inventors is when you create something, usually a mechanism or something. Explorer is simply a person who's trying to find something new. Colonialist is obviously what the Britishers were trying to establish their colonies and make other existing लोगों को अपना colony बनाना. But a pioneer is a person who goes and where nothing is there, they start creating human habitation. So settlers is the best word for it. He has propensity for getting into debt. I have a propensity to put on weight. So propensity. I have a propensity to put on weight. So propensity means the natural tendency to do something. Adat, right? Not adat, but I have this thing where naturally it happens to me. Right? So I have the propensity means natural tendency. I don't do anything, it just happens to me. Even without trying too hard, naturally something happens to me. That is a propensity for something. He has a propensity for sports, means he has a natural tendency for sports. He is averse to the idea of holding elections now. Averse. The government is averse to holding any physical thing these days. So averse literally means against something. When you don't want to do something, when you're opposed to something, you are averse to something. Right? When you're against, when you're opposed to something, that is called being averse to it. Okay. Silence is mandatory for meditation to be effective. It is mandatory to carry an ID card when traveling by train. To enter Maharashtra these days, an RT-PCR test is mandatory. It is mandatory to wear a mask when going out in public. Easy, compulsory. Mandate means law. Mandate literally means law. So mandatory, something which is compulsory. We should always try to maintain and promote communal amity. Amicable comes from amity. It comes from a French root ami or ami. Ami literally means friend in French. Amicable is friendly. So amity literally means friendship. Amity literally means friendship. Pranav, how is it A? Bondage, bandhan. Bondage means tying somebody up. Bondage is tying somebody up. Bond, right? Ties. Amity is friendship. Comes from the word ami, which means friend. Ami is friend. So amity is friendship. Amiable is friendly. Okay. Not much, guys. Hardly a few words left. We'll be quickly done in a few minutes. Just hang on. Public figures should not indulge in mudslinging. In fact, nowadays in news, we are seeing a lot of Bengal elections where we see politicians mudslinging over each other, trying to spoil the reputation. Pranav, B means you are asking in the previous question. कंटेंशन का मतलब पूछ रहे हो प्रणव? Okay, this is a point of contention, a point of argument between us. You and I don't agree on something, so that is a point of contention. I am contending it is something, you are contending that it is something. Point of contention, point of argument. Now do you get it? Okay. Mudslinging. Nowadays you see a lot of mudslinging happening before the elections. When mudslinging is trying to spoil the reputation of the other person. So that is literally slander. Not quarrel. Quarrel is jhagda. Mudslinging is literally you try to spoil the reputation of the other person. You try to say the other person is bad, the other person is not a good person. That is mudslinging. Literally uske ispe कीचड़ उछालना. You are trying to harm the reputation of the person. So that is slander. Right? Even in Hindi we call it the same. कीचड़ उछालना. Right? Mudslinging. Literally means to try to harm the reputation. Caricatures. Now, have you seen cartoons of actual caricature? Can you see that person on the screen? Can you see that image on the screen? That is my caricature. A cartoon like figure but which shows a real person, right? So what you can see on the screen is actually my caricature, right? An exaggerated drawing of an actual person. Okay, that plan is both inhuman and preposterous and needs no further proof. The idea that you should drink sanitizer to clean your stomach is preposterous. Preposterous. Preposterous is something which does not make any sense. So absurd. Something which is totally illogical. Right? It is so stupid that you can't even believe it. That is preposterous. So absurd. Something which makes no sense at all. Impractical just means something which cannot be done, right? But preposterous is something beyond that. It is so stupid that you can't even believe it. So preposterous means absurd, does not make any sense at all. Nonsense. Preposterous literally means nonsense. Okay. Languishing. Literally equivalent to sadhana. The prisoner has been languishing in jail for the last many years. सालों से जेल में सड़ रहा है. So languishing is suffering. When you are lying and just suffering, you are languishing. So languishing literally means suffering. Okay. This we have done, guys. Inebriated. Let's see who remembers this. As the driver was inebriated, he could not control the car. I have given you the word inebriated. I also gave you another word which was the opposite for it. Remember the word teetotaler? Inebriated versus teetotaler. Teetotaler is a person who does not drink. So inebriated is a person who is drunken or intoxicated. Nashe ki halat mein. Befuddled only means confused. But inebriated is confused because of alcohol. It literally means drunk or intoxicated. So inebriated means drunk or intoxicated. Even today, many people are guided by abstruse moral values. These are abstruse moral values. In the present world, do they make sense? Abstruse is something which is old and not very clear. Something which is difficult to understand. So something which is obscure. Something whose meaning is not very clear is abstruse. Something that is obscure. Impracticable is something which cannot happen. Abstruse means something whose meaning is not clear. Right? Something which is not very clearly understood. That is obscure. So abstruse means something whose meaning is not very clear. So it's not impracticable, it's obscure. Do you get that? Shubham? Right. Instead of putting up a united front against a common enemy, the medieval states frittered away their energy in internecine warfare. This is simple. Instead of putting up a united front against a common enemy, the medieval states frittered away their energy in internecine warfare. दुश्मन के सामने लड़ने की जगह उनकी एनर्जी कैसे वॉरफेयर में वेस्ट किया होगा. Baneful is something full of sorrow. Pernicious is something which is very typical and not very understanding. Detrimental is something which is bad for health. But frittered means wasted. So instead of commonly fighting the common enemy, they would have wasted their energy in war. Which type of war? Inter. The word inter itself is easy to understand. Inter means between or mutual. So internecine means mutual, आपस में, between themselves. The medieval states frittered away, wasted their energy in mutually destructive warfare. They were fighting among themselves, wasted their energy instead of fighting against a common enemy. Simple. Okay. Few teachers have been spared the problem of an obstreperous pupil in the class. An obstreperous student is something which teachers don't want. Sullen is somebody who does not show emotions, who is always dull. Lazy, person who does not work. Awkward, a person who is not very graceful. Unruly is a person who does not follow rules. Which type of student does a teacher not want? If you are sullen, that is you are always moody, I don't mind. If you are lazy, I can make you work. If you are awkward, I can teach you. But if you don't follow the rules, that is bad for me. Right? So obstreperous literally means unruly. Someone who does not follow rules, somebody who cannot be controlled. Person not following the rules or cannot be controlled, that is obstreperous. And last word, the story is too fantastic to be credible. Too fantastic means so fantastic that it is not. Right? Fantastic is something totally unbelievable. So credibility is believability. So credible means believable. Credible means believable. He is a credible person. Means he is believable. This is incredible. This cannot be believed. Incredible is something which is beyond belief. So credible means something that is believable. Right, guys? So those were the words, right? Just a quick introduction to the type of words that you can face in the exams. This should have given you a fair idea of how much your vocabulary is strong and how weak it is, whether you need to work a lot or not. You have a vocabulary book in the set of material in which there are a lot of word lists. You should be doing these word lists every day, right? Try to find out their meanings, try to use them in sentences. And if you develop the habit of reading a lot of books, novels, magazines, newspapers, etc., you will slowly start understanding the contextual meaning of the words and your vocabulary will develop. For those who are interested in a step-by-step systematic manner of learning vocabulary, you can also try a book called Word Power Made Easy. It's a book by Norman Lewis and one of the most famous books to systematically learn vocabulary, right? So you should be learning vocabulary from whichever source you get. So now, if there are any questions, if there are any doubts, I'll hang around for some time and you can ask. Else, we are done for the day. You may exit the session. Have a good day and stay safe.